Hey worship vocalists, today we're going to explore the song Living Hope. I want to give you a few tips and techniques you can try to really help free your voice in the high notes. So many singers have said, help, I don't know how to not just go, hallelujah, praise the one who set me free. So I want to help you with that so you can sing powerfully without pushing and straining. And I also want to help you create a really beautiful and dynamic journey in this song and be able to use your vocal instrument intentionally to really tell the story of these lyrics and communicate passion and emotion. I'm going to be demonstrating mostly in the key of A as per the Bethany World Bethel version, and sometimes in the key of E flat as per Phil Wickham's version, but you can practice all these same techniques in whatever key you're doing the song in. A lot of females find the key of G or A flat works well for them. Anywhere in the C, D flat, D, E flat range I find are generally the best keys for guys. The main thing is to try to find that sweet spot where your voice feels and sounds best, and that's the key you should do it in. If we haven't met before, my name is Charmaine. I'm the coach at The Worship Vocalist, and all the stuff I'm going to be teaching in this tutorial is just the tip of the iceberg of how you can and should be exploring your voice. I encourage you to not just settle for feeling tension and strain when you sing. Don't just settle for not being able to hit the high notes or the low notes on pitch or whatever it is. A lot of what I teach vocalists to do is learn to sing in a contemporary style. Maybe that's you, maybe you've come out of a more classical background and you want to learn to sing in that more pop, contemporary, mixed voice style of modern worship. All this stuff is taught in my online courses at theworshipvocalist.com. You can do it at your own pace, on your own time, so make sure to check that out. Okay, let's talk about the verse. I want you to tell a story with these lyrics. So many times in a song like this is what I hear. How great the chasm that lay between us, how high the mountain I could not climb. It doesn't communicate authenticity. It doesn't communicate that I really care about these lyrics that I'm singing. It's begging to be sung like you would speak these words out, just real, authentic conversation, not just a monotone voice. It's gotta have subtle dynamics. Imagine it's a prayer. Imagine you're just saying these words for the first time. How great the chasm that lay between us. How high the mountain I could not climb. In desperation, I turned to heaven and spoke your name into the night. How great the chasm that lay between us. How high the mountain I could not climb. In desperation, I turned to heaven and spoke your name into the night. Then through the darkness, your loving kindness tore through the shadows of my soul. We're not aiming for perfection here. We want to be on pitch, but we're not aiming for smooth, every note sounds the same as the next one. No, actually the opposite. I've talked about this in my other videos, how imperfect is the new perfect. So let a little breathy, edgy texture, a little bit of grit in your voice. Let there be a rise and fall in the volume dynamics throughout each phrase. Listen again and notice how I have this kind of push and pull, this subtle crescendo where there's a rise in volume and then I just let it go. How high the mountain I could not climb. In desperation, I turned to heaven and spoke your name into the night. I'm not going to get into more of the specifics of how to do that. I have lessons where I teach on dynamics in my Master Your Voice course. There's a whole vocal workout just for helping build dynamics into your voice. But at the very basic level, one of the best things that you can do to get better at this is just take away the melody, just read the lyrics out like a prayer. Make sure it's not like a Shakespeare play.
How great the chasm that lay between us.
Just experiment with this and feel the natural cadence and dynamics as you speak out the words, and then just try to bring that into your singing as much as you can. In desperation, I turned to heaven and spoke your name into the night. Takes it from this.
How great the chasm that lay between us.
To this.
How great the chasm that lay between us. How high the mountain I could not climb.
Verse 2, same thing, but just lean into this whole section a little bit more, let a little more volume and power into your tone.
Who could imagine so great a mercy? What heart could fathom such boundless grace? The God of ages stepped down from glory to wear my sin and bear my shame.
Again, I'm being intentional about the way that I'm shaping my words. I'm not letting one phrase get away that's not focused and dynamic and passionate. Even though we're still in the softer parts of the song, it's never lazy. Okay, let's talk about the chorus. This is where a lot of singers have trouble because you want to sing this chorus so powerfully and passionately, but most people in trying to do that end up just basically yelling it out of chest voice.
Hallelujah, praise the one who set me free.
And although one could argue it is powerful and it is passionate, it's not on pitch, and my voice just ends up feeling tired and hoarse and strained. Especially if you have 2 or more services in a weekend and you have rehearsal and the time you spend practicing at home, it's not good for the voice to be pushing and straining like that. It can cause serious damage over time, and it's hard for the listener's ear to have to listen to off-pitch singing like that. Or you may find yourself not necessarily pushing up to those notes, but your voice just doesn't go there with power. You end up in a lighter, more head-dominant tone.
You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name.
And maybe you've come from singing in a nice, rich, full tone in your lower range if you're comfortable there, and then it just kind of flips into this very different quality.
Jesus Christ, my living hope. Hallelujah, praise the one who set me free.
Ideally, we want neither of these scenarios. We don't want to just push up chest voice. That's gonna damage and tire out your vocal cords. And we don't want a light head voice because it doesn't sound as contemporary and it doesn't communicate the full power and passion that these lyrics are calling for. So instead of putting it all up here, hallelujah, or all down here, hallelujah, we're gonna find this middle resonance in the face. That's a blend of head, chest, and pharyngeal nasal resonance. I want you to say a nasally meh, meh, meh. Don't just yell it out, meh, meh, meh. And don't just let it go into a light head voice, meh, meh, meh. You want to hear a whiny sound, meh, and you want to feel a buzz right here in the middle of the face. You can just put your fingers on your nose. Meh, 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 meh. You don't have to match my pitch. Just do it wherever you're comfortable in your range. Meh, meh. Meh, 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 meh. Okay, now take that pharyngeal meh and put it into the melody of the chorus. Guys, you're gonna be right here. Meh, 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 meh. Girls, meh, meh, meh. Meh, 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 meh. Focus on that whiny sound, and I also want you to pay attention to the shape of your mouth. Look in a mirror, seriously, this will help because I want you to keep your mouth narrow. Don't let it go wide out to the side. Meh, 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 It's not an efficient shape for the resonance and it causes way too much tension. So narrow the mouth and I want you to keep it as consistent as possible throughout the phrase. Again, keep that whine in the voice that helps engage the mix, that blend of resonators, and keep the mouth narrow. That's gonna help everything be most efficient. Don't let it be super wide out to the side. Now try those out. You can do whichever one feels the best to you, whichever one you feel most free on, but go back to back between the exercise and the lyrics. And when you go to sing the lyrics, try to keep the tone, the resonance as similar to the exercise as possible. Hallelujah. Praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah. Death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name. Jesus Christ, my living hope. Now for some of you, you're gonna try this and just start doing a happy dance because it's gonna free up your voice like crazy. You're gonna start hitting these higher notes on pitch that you never thought you could. But for some of you, we'll need to finesse this a little bit more because I find what happens for a lot of people is they'll find this amazing freedom in the exercise. And why that works so well is because the mouth shape and resonance and everything is staying so consistent from note to note. But then when you put the lyrics in, because the vowel and consonant sounds are constantly changing, all of a sudden your mouth shape and resonance goes from being consistent to being all over the place. Hallelujah, praise the one who set me free. So what we need is everybody's favorite, the modified lyrics. You'll find all of this taught in depth in my Master Your Voice course. I talk about vowel modifications in the art of singing vowels and consonants lessons, so make sure to check those out. The main principle is we're gonna keep the mouth as narrow as possible as we go to hit those high notes. It's gonna sound really strange when we speak it out, but it works super well for singing. Hallelujah. See how my mouth shape isn't hallelujah, it's narrow. Hallelujah. So it gives the resonance a consistent pathway to follow. Praise the one who set me free. Our E vowels are becoming more of an I shape in the mouth so that the mouth doesn't clamp down on set me free. Hallelujah.
Death has lost its grip on me.
Laugh all you want, but this stuff works. Modifying the vowels helps keep the resonance in the right place. It keeps the voice sounding bright and full and free, and it helps eliminate vocal strain and tension.
You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name.
Keeping everything narrow.
Jesus Christ, my living hope. Hallelujah, praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah, death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name, Jesus Christ, my living hope.
For guys, try it right around here.
Hallelujah, praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah, death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name, Jesus Christ, my living hope.
Okay, final sections of the song. This is my favorite part. Again, I'm going by the Bethel version where Bethany Worrell sings it. Pretty much every version I listen to, I hear slightly different melodies. People jump the octave in different places. You've got to find what works well for you, but these tips I'm gonna give you will work for basically whatever version you're singing and whatever key you're singing in. In this first part, we're gonna go back to that quiet, light, kind of spoken voice, even more so than at the beginning of the song. And do not oversing these lines. We've got to save something for the repeat. Really just rein yourself in. Let that little bit of breathy, edgy texture into your voice. It's gonna add so much character to this section.
Then came the morning that sealed the promise. Your buried body began to breathe. Out of the silence, the roaring lion declared the grave has no claim on me.
Now lean in.
Then came the morning that sealed the promise. Your buried body began to breathe.
Don't be afraid of this part. Just do what we did in the chorus.
Na 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 na, na 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 na.
Another great exercise is a bit of a deeper lower larynx. Buh.
Bo 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 bo. Your buried body.
These exercises are like training wheels for the voice. We're telling the voice where we want it to go, how we want it to work, where we want the resonance to be, what shape we want the mouth in, and then we want to keep these same things in place as much as possible as we go into the lyrics. Promise me one thing, in this second half of the bridge, please don't sing Roaring Lion like
the roaring lion.
I want you to let loose on this. We can't sing Roaring Lion and not be gutsy about it. So drop the jaw, open the mouth, keep it narrow, and just cry it out.
The roaring lion.
I'm not gonna spend too much time on this, but here are the vowel modifications. You can come back to this and experiment with it.
Your buried body began to breathe.
Notice how I'm keeping everything very narrow. Out of that ow, get a little bit of that cry, ow.
Out of the silence, the roaring lion declared the grave has no claim on me. Jesus, yours is the victory. Your buried body began to breathe. Out of the silence, the roaring lion declared the grave has no claim on me.
experiment with this stuff, go back, pause the video, slow it down, and let yourself be crazy. It's so important. If we actually want to see change in the voice, we can't just sing the way we've always sung. Hopefully these tips are helpful for you. Hopefully you have been encouraged that maybe you can hit some of these higher notes way more powerfully than you thought. I've worked with many singers on this song in particular, and many of these strategies were super helpful for them. And the other thing I encourage you to do is experiment with what key is best for your voice. Just because Bethany Worrell sings it in A and Phil Wickham sings it in E flat doesn't mean that you need to. There's nothing holy or magical about the original key on the recording. It just means that singer chose the best key for their voice on the recording, and so should you. Choose the key that puts you right in your sweet spot, and then use these techniques I've shown you to hone in on things and really lock in those higher parts. You can and you will sound better by Sunday, or whenever you sing this song next. If you start applying these concepts, you'll start hitting the high notes easier, more powerfully, in more of a mixed voice tone. And if you practice those softer, more speech level conversational parts in the verses, it's gonna really contrast with the big chorus and bridge and create a really beautiful journey. But beyond this song, if you don't already have a vocal workout routine in place, if you're not actively putting in time and effort to improve your vocal skill, what are you waiting for? If you think you have a perfect voice and you've mastered every vocal skill, I'm not talking about you, you just keep doing what you're doing. But most of us don't have the range we want to have. Most of us don't have the amount of power and seamless connection in our voice that we want to have. Our voice feels more tired after Sunday service than we want it to. And for years, I just kind of settled for singing in a mediocre way and my voice feeling rough and inconsistent most of the time, until I started doing vocal exercises day by day, week by week, month by month. And I saw massive improvement in my voice. I've seen it in my students so many times, worship vocalists, being able to do things they never thought possible. So I wanna help you with that. If you haven't already taken my Discover Your Voice course at theworshipvocalist.com, it's a 6-week crash course on the voice. It'll help you understand your instrument better, help you learn to achieve this contemporary mixed voice tone I've been showing you in this video. And once you're done that course, there are tons more lessons that will take you way further in exploring your unique sound and discovering the full potential of what God has placed inside of you and the voice that's waiting to be unlocked and unleashed.